You are tuned to the Village Prisoner Set Free, and I don't know how much you know or how much you want to know, but basically speaking, Patrick McGowan's series was an attempt to try to tell the whole world about the hoax-lie system as well as the intensive mind control that has existed in basically many civilizations. So here we find that number 2 is going to try to do a little bit of mind control, and they need for him to be in a sleep. And let's listen in and watch this. Now notice the use of flashing light. Television is your prime example of flashing light, and television has been used to hypnotize the population and to place in their thinking false information.
Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after.
So what's going on? Well, the so-called nursery rhymes that he's reciting are about trauma. Now, little children sing this. Jack and Jill went up a hill. Fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown. Jill come tumbling after. That's trauma, people. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. And he falls. Nobody can put him back together again. We're talking trauma. Now, there is such a thing called trauma-based mind control. And I believe it's very valid that when we are subjected to trauma, it does something to us. There's all kinds of information out there on what they call post-traumatic stress disorder. So trauma is one of the keys and one of the ways to bring about mind control and the control of a population.
Oh, the Master Duke of York, he had 1,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. Humpty Dumpty.
Now that about marching up the hill and marching down, it's just basically wearing people down and getting them exhausted. When you get exhausted, you get very susceptible to anything. And so keeping people exhausted day after day in the news, of trauma after trauma, bad news after bad news, wears people down.
Humpty Dumpty
So the trauma-based mind control causes us to go backwards into almost a state of childhood, and then we seek out a protector. And that's kind of the two-edged sword that happens, that we flee to the people and to the ones who actually are the ones inducing the traumas. And we want somebody to, quote, protect us and not be an individual, not be strong. So you're seeing Patrick McGowan, number 6, reverted back into state of childhood. Now, I've seen great evidence of this in different traumas that have been inflicted upon the nation. And then you can even see it sometimes in photographs, whereby you'll see evidence of the trauma, and then you'll see individuals almost in a childlike state, because we want somebody to protect us, we want somebody to love us, even as our parents, hopefully, loved us and protected us when we were children. So this is going to go on and on into that whole scenario of the state of childhood that the trauma-based mind control produces.
Dress quickly. I'll show you some nice things. Orchid.
So the wheelchair is probably like a stroller, and he's a little child being pushed around. Now notice how they go down, and that would be, I'm sure, would represent the idea of the forces of darkness, the forces of evil. One of the big questions in this series that Patrick McGowan's always asking is, who's number 1? Who's number 1? No, that's number 2 in the center, but if you want the answer, it's never stated. But number 1 is the devil. Now that could also represent regression, going backwards in time into the state of childhood because of the trauma subjected upon him.
This is it. For better or worse. Who knows? 1 week. 1 teeny weeny week, my boy. Neither of us can leave. Till death do us part. And I brought it on myself. Who knows?
So that reference is number 2 was told by number 1 he has 1 week to break him. And that's what he's referring to.
Come ahead, son. Let's see what you're made of. Find out what's in that noddle of yours. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts.
Okay, they just revealed something great there, that one actor can play several roles. And I best just refer you to my channel, Who is Who in Hoaxology. And I speak about tri-bonds and quad bonds and bi-bonds meaning one actor playing 2 roles, one actor playing 3 roles, one actor playing 4 roles. A good example of this would be, and it might surprise you, would be that the one that we knew as Elvis, a great rock and roll singer, is also Johnny Cash. Elvis and Johnny Cash are the same. And there's many other examples, but just go to Who is Who in Hoaxology and you can explore a lot right there, a lot.
It has to be 7 ages. William Shakespeare.
Okay, that's a reference to Shakespeare's about the 7 ages of man. You can look that up too. But he's reverted back to infancy and childhood, and that is the purpose of the trauma-based mind control, to make the population helpless, and then as they feel helpless, they flee towards the government or even local police or whatever for protection. Now, as I said, it's a two-edged sword, meaning that yes, there's good there in that they do provide genuine protection at times, but then at other times there's a lot of involvement in these hoaxes, so that you stay in a state of fear constantly.
All up, so they say. At first, the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. Be still! Even as a child, there is something in your brain that is a puzzlement. I intend to discover it. Find missing.
Now, if you're not aware of everything in this show, the controllers in the village are obsessed with finding out, why did he resign? Why did he leave his position as secret agent, high-level secret agent? And that's the mystery they're trying to unlock and constantly discover. And he asks them, what do you want? And they say, we want information. Now, you have to look up my video I did on that. Just information. To get information. In other words, control and conform. So I'm going to have to end this video, and I really enjoy doing this. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I have plenty more on this channel and my other channels. I'll keep talking to you. See you later. My battery's dying in my camera. End of video.